Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel all about BI. This session is quickly going to be about implementing SCD type 2 in Azure Data Factory. Okay, you might have seen many other videos regarding the same topic, but this is going to be a very light implementation in the sense we will not include too many activities, yet we will be implementing SCD type 2. For those who do not know what is SCD type 2, I would like to quickly touch upon what it is actually. Alright, SCD is nothing but it is slowly changing dimension. In a data warehouse, we will be having dimension tables and fact table. Fact table will be having the measures. Dimension table will be having the attributes, okay, related to the measures that we store in fact table. Alright, so in a dimension table, there might be different columns, okay. Those columns are all different attributes of the table, okay. So those attributes can be either fixed attribute, wherein we will not be having any change at all. That attribute will not change in its lifetime. Once it is inserted to the table, it's not going to change forever. For example, our first name, last name, employee ID or serial number or dimension ID or whatever be it, which are not supposed to change over time, that is called a fixed attribute. Okay, there might be other columns which can be changing in course of time. Okay, that is what we call changing attribute. For example, the department which we belong to in a particular company, right? This year I might be belonging to an insurance department, and next year I might be moved to a different project which comes under a retail department. So there might be some columns in a dimension table which could change in course of time, okay, but it will not be frequently changing, okay. So in a real time situation, right, if we work for a company, we will be working in a project at least for 3 months or 4 months, okay. So we will not be frequently changing projects most of the time. So if that is the case, if we switch between projects and those projects come under different departments, obviously the department to which we are tagged will be changing. Even though not frequently, it can change slowly, okay. That is called slowly changing dimension. So if that is the case, right, our department is going to change in course of time, but whether we need to track the history of the particular employee or not, which department and all he belonged to before coming to current department, okay, that is what is called history maintenance, whether we need to maintain history or not. If your answer is no, I don't want to maintain the history of the department changes for a particular employee. If that is your case, then we will be overwriting the department in the particular row in the dimension table, okay. This comes under SCD type 1 or upset logic. This we already have discussed upset logic in one of our earlier videos. Please watch it for more clarity. Alright, if your answer is yes for history maintenance, whether you want to maintain history, if you'd like to go for maintaining the history, then there is where SCD type 2 comes into existence, okay. That is what we call maintaining history using SCD type 2, okay. But how do we maintain the history? See, right now against my employee ID, I will be tagged to a particular department, okay. But tomorrow, if I am changing my department, I will be making the current row disabled or inactive before I go for new department, okay. That is what we call making the existing records inactive or disabled. We will be discussing how to do it in the video, but this is just for your understanding purpose, okay. Alright, this is all about SCD 1 and 2. What is SCD all about? Alright, an input file which brings the data of an employee, okay, TDIM employee table. For that table, if you want to get records from a file, right, that file might bring records which might be updated records or which might be relatively new records which are not already inserted in the table at all, and there might be records which don't bring any change at all. For example, updated records in the sense, updated means updating the department, okay. There might be some persons who have recently changed their department, so we will be getting their updated department records in the file, okay. That is case number 1. New records are nothing but new employee details, okay. No change records are nothing but there are some employees already inserted in the table, but the file also brings the details of the same employee but without any change. The department, there is no change in the department basically, okay. So this is the high level about the type 2 SCD that we are going to implement today. Before we actually see how do we implement in the data factory, I would like to show you the structure of the table in which we are going to do this SAD type 2 implementation. Okay, my table name is TDIM employee. It resides in my Azure SQL database. Okay, so it has around 6 columns. One is ID column, which is nothing but the employee ID, name column, department column, and then is active, start date and end date. Okay, so these start date, end date and is active, these 3 columns are required for maintaining the history. Okay, this is active column is what is going to identify whether the current record is active record or not, or whether the employee belongs to the particular department currently or not. That is what it is going to tell you. Okay, so for active records we will not have any end date, or end date will be some dummy value like 31st December 9999. In some implementations you might see it as null as well. Okay, so the end date for active records can either be null or 31st December 9999. In our case we are going to insert 31st December 9999 for active records. In the sense, for updated records as well as for new records, we will be passing 31st December 9999 as the end date. Okay, start date will be coming from the file. Alright, is active is also for active records it will be 1, for inactive records it will be 0. Okay, so I'll quickly write it down so that it's not so much confusing. For active records, end date can either be null or 31st December 9999. Is active column, it will be 1 for active records. For inactive, end date will be the actual date on which the record was made inactive. Okay, if we are making the record as inactive today, we will have end date as today's date. Okay, so like that, whenever you are making the record inactive, you will be taking that particular date's date. Okay, alright, so is active column will become 0. Okay, so if you see a record with is active is 0, then that means that the record is invalidated, or the record is disabled. Okay, or inactive, whatever you can call it. Okay, if you see a record with the is active column as 1, then that is the current record. Okay, so historical records will have is active as 0 and will have a start date and end date. Okay, for current record it will have 1 as is active and end date as a default date. Okay, alright, so now you will understand that we will get ID, name, department, start date, these 4 columns from the file, and is active and end date will be populated from the data factory itself. Okay, I'll show you the file also. The file will have 4 columns as I told you. It will have an ID, name, department and start date. So what we are trying to do is, for a particular ID and name, we will be checking whether he belongs to to which department he belongs to. Currently, if Sachin is belonging to insurance, and tomorrow if he changes over the department to retail, we will be making the insurance record inactive and we will be inserting a new record for retail. Okay, so initially, since our table doesn't have any record, I will show you it will be empty. Select star from TDIM employee. Alright, so it's empty now, it doesn't have any record. So if this is the case, all the records will be considered new records and it will all have is active column as 1 and end date as 31st December 9999. Okay, so as I told you, we have the records coming from the CSV file, and we have one more source connected to the SQL table, because before we try to insert or update the records from CSV file, we will have to check whether for the particular ID name it is already there in the table. So for that only we have connected to SQL table as well. Okay, so this is pointing to my CSV file, this is pointing to my SQL table TDIM employee. See here, so if I refresh and see the data, there will be nothing because we haven't inserted any record. So coming back to the data flow, so the first thing that we'll have to do is to find the hash of the columns. Okay, whichever columns we are targeting to identify whether it is updated or not for the particular column, along with any other column, we will have to find the hash value. Okay, hashing is nothing but it is a number generated out of the value that we are passing. Okay, there are various hashing algorithms available, MD5, SHA, so there are different algorithms available. So in my case, I am going to use MD5. So I am going to pass my name and my department column, because department is going to change, name is not going to change. So every time if I want to identify whether the incoming row is updated or not, I will have to take the hash value of these columns. Okay, you can also include ID column. Okay, so that depends. So if you want, you can add, otherwise you can ignore. So in my case, what I have done is from the CSV file I have found the MD5 of name and department. So it will be giving my input hash value. Okay, for every record I will be getting this value. Similarly, from the SQL file or SQL table also, I will have to find the hash value of the name and department. Okay, and once I have these hash values from the CSV file and my SQL table, I will be comparing these two hash values. Okay, based on the comparison output, whether both the hash values are same or not, we are going to decide whether the record is new or updated or there is no change at all. Okay, so that is how we are going to proceed. So the first step is to put a hash value on these two columns. Okay, after I have implemented the hashing, I am going to use exists activity. Okay, in this exists activity, I am going to check whether input hash and the SQL hash they are not actually existing in my table. Okay, so it will be taking a hash value from the CSV file and it will compare that particular hash value against all the records of the table, because we are comparing hash input and hash reference. Hash input is nothing but this is the CSV file, reference is nothing but this is the SQL table. Okay, so whatever hash value I am finding in my CSV file, I am going to verify whether that is not existing in the table. Right stream is my table. Okay, so doesn't exist is what I have chosen here. So if you are finding a hash input which is already not there in your table, then that means that that might be a new record as well as updated record, because the hashed value doesn't match with any of the hash value present in your table. So that means that it might either be updated record or it is a new record. Okay, in either case we are going to set the isActive column as 1 and we are going to set the end date as 31st December 9999. So that is our next job. So once you have identified certain records which do not match the hash value of any record in your table, then we are considering them to be relatively new records or updated records. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set those records to active records. By what means? I'm going to update isActive column to 1 and setting end date to 31st December 9999. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm going to insert it into my SQL table. So for insertion, we do not want to include an alter row and all. Okay, it can simply be inserted to the SQL destination. So I am just choosing the table in which I have to insert my records, and then I will in the settings I will just choose, this is the default option, you will not have to choose anything. And then in the mapping we will have to disable the auto mapping and we will have to check whether the columns are mapped appropriately or not. Okay, so after you have identified the mappings to be correct, you can have a look at the data preview to see which and all values will get inserted to the table based on the current input file. So in our case we have 4 records in our file: Sachin, Saurav, Nattu and Smith. So these 4 records are relatively new because we don't have any records in the table at all. So in my preview I should be seeing 4 records to be active records. So let's wait for the data preview to come. Okay, as expected we are having 4 records of Sachin, Saurav, Nattu and Smith. All are active because the value is 1 and end date is 9999 31st December. Okay, so this is part number 1, wherein the hash value of the incoming records do not match with any record in the SQL table. Okay, there is one more part in it. Okay, we'll have to check the other way around, right? We'll have to make the existing records disabled. Okay, so for that what we are doing is we are going to use the ID column and the name column. Okay, for these columns, if we are finding the records which already present in your table, for example, you are getting an ID and name from your CSV file, and it is already existing in your table as well. Okay, and if you find it to be existing, then we have to make those records as inactive, because file is also bringing some record, and in same ID and name column will also exist in your table, means both seem to be similar records. Okay, so we'll have to update those records to be inactive, or we have to make those records to be disabled. Okay, so how do we do that is, again we'll go to this is nothing but derived column transformation. So this is also derived column transformation, this is also derived column, wherein we'll be setting the end date to current date. As I told you, if you are going to make some records disabled or inactive, we'll have to choose the current date as end date. Okay, that is what I have done here. So to date of current UTC, this will be pulling current date and it will be converting to the date, because current UTC will be giving you timestamp value. So we cannot insert a timestamp to a date column. So that's why I'm converting it into date here, and I'm making the isActive to 0. And then since we have to update the records for which we have this ID and this name, right, we have to add an alter row, because this is mandatory for updating, deleting or making any changes to the record. If you are going to alter a record, basically you are going to use the alter row transformation. Okay, so here what we are doing is we are just choosing update if the true condition. Okay, because we have already decided which columns to update, because that exits have already given you which are the columns to be updated. If I refresh here, it should not bring us any record, because all the records are going to be inserted. So this is not going to yield me any record now. But if at all you have any values found here, those will be set to inactive. See here, no output data now. So it will be set to inactive by saying isActive is 0, end date is current date, and we have just declared it. We are it to be updating the records, right? So before we update the record in table, we have to use the alter row. Okay, just use the condition true, so that it will be updating all the records that are found in the data flow. Okay, so in the SQL destination, what you will be doing is you will go to settings, you will choose allow update, and you will be choosing the key columns. Okay, in my case I have chosen a composite key, but normally in a dimension table you will mostly have a surrogate key kind of, wherein that particular column alone will be a primary key column. So it's up to you to design it. Okay, so since I have a composite key, I have added all the key columns here, and I have skipped writing key columns, because there is no point in writing or updating the key columns, because it's not ID and name, they are not going to be changing. Okay, as well as department, we are just going to make the isActive column to be 0, and we are going to update the end date. We are not going to touch any of the key columns here. That's why I have skipped the writing key columns. Okay, apart from that, just go to mapping once again and disable the auto mapping, and look at the mapping, whether the data type and all are consistent across source and sink, and the columns are mapped properly. So we have to check all of them, and then finally you will have to do a data preview. Okay, in our case it's not going to yield anything, because we are not updating any records now. So I'll simply execute this pipeline so that we can see some record getting inserted to the table first. Once it is inserted, I'll be updating my source file, which is CSV file, and then I'll show you how it works. It will take around 2 minutes. Okay, this data flow to spin up the cluster and to start inserting and updating, right, it will take at least 2 to 2.5 minutes. So let's wait till that. Pipeline has executed. It has taken around 1.5 minutes this time. So if you check the table, we have already seen the records getting inserted. Okay, so if you see the isActive column, everything is 1, and end date 31st December 9999. Okay, so let's make some update to the file. Let's make NUT2 belongs to retail. Okay, so start date can be today's date. Today's date is 1st February 2021. Okay, so I have updated the department for NUT2, and I am going to insert a new record as well. Okay, I will say maybe Sundar, and he belongs to HR. So start date would be 21st January 2015. Okay, so we have inserted a new record which is number 5, Sundar HR. This is a new record, and we have updated Nattu to belong to retail. Okay, so let me save this. Right now Nattu belongs to healthcare, and he is going to be updated or moved to a retail project. So we are going to make this line as inactive, and we are going to insert one more line for Nattu belonging to retail from today's date. Okay, and after I have made this inactive, I will be updating the end date to be current date. So we'll have right now there are 4 records. So after I execute the pipeline, I will have 6 records. Okay, because one updated record for Nattu and new record for Sundar. Okay, all other records will be remaining unchanged. So before I execute, I'll be showing you how my data preview looks like before, because in data preview itself you can identify how the records are going to be inserted. Okay, so this is a quick verification kind of. You can quickly verify whether the data flow works fine or not. Okay, so in our case we are expecting one record to be updated, which is nothing but the Nattu record from healthcare. So that healthcare record is going to come here, and in sync, if I refresh the data preview and see, I will be seeing 2 records, one updated Nattu, one new Sundar. Okay, so let us wait. One thing to note here is if you have inserted some records and you're trying to make some changes to the file and your data previewing, right, it might not give you perfect answer because you should be closing or you should be refreshing the pipeline, because it should be getting the current records from the table, right? Right now the table has 4 records, so that data and all should be refreshed. So just close the pipeline and data flow once, or do a refresh so that the sources and sync will get refreshed once. Okay, so as expected, I have refreshed the sync, and we are seeing Nattu belonging to healthcare should be updated to 0 and end date should be current date. Okay, similarly I go to sync and I do a refresh now. It should be giving us 2 records. After I run this data flow and we see the records getting updated and inserted properly, I'll tell you couple of ways to improve this data flow so that you can try it at your end. Because it's already 22 plus minutes, I don't want to drag it further. I'll just give a gist of what to be done. So we are seeing 2 records, one for Nattu retail and Sundar. Both are this is updated record, this is in new record. So both are going to be inserted with the isactive being 1, end date being 31st December. Okay, let me run this pipeline so that we can see the records in the table. So it's again going to take a couple of minutes. So before that I will tell you what and all can be changed here. Okay, so the first thing is from SQL, right now we are bringing all the records. Okay, so it's always recommended to pull only the active records, because we are not going to update any inactive record, okay, in any of the near future or forever. Okay, so we are just worried about the records which are active. So you can add a filter here. Okay, you can simply click a plus, put one filter and say is active equal to 1. By this way, right, we are just filtering out, or we are just considering the records which are only active. Okay, is active equal to 1. So this way I can ignore the obsolete records or historical records which are already updated to 0. Okay, so this is one thing that we can do in the data flow. Other thing is, as I showed you or as I told you, right now my sync is having a composite primary key. If you want to have a single column as primary key column, you can add a surrogate key column and generate surrogate key from the pipeline by using surrogate key transformation, and you can handle the insertions and updations accordingly. Okay, these 2 are the main things that I wanted to tell you. Okay, so let us see if it's running. Okay, it's in progress. Oh, insertion is also done. So as we can see here, there are 6 records totally. Okay, since we have made composite primary key, right? So there are duplicate values in the primary key column. Okay, these three are considered to be primary key. So I have 3 NUT2 healthcare, 3 NUT2 retail, and retail is the current record. That's why it's being updated with 1. And then start date is today's date, end date is 31st December 9999. Similarly for healthcare, from 2020 15th May till today it was active. Okay, so and Sundar also has been updated with the updated with the active values. Okay, so this is how we implement SCD type 2 in Azure Data Factory. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions or whatever be it, I welcome you to provide it in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep supporting. And one more thing, I have just uploaded all the scripts that I have used, the text file that I have used into my Git repository. Please have a look and then download for your reference.